Fellow particles, it's good to see you all.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday once again. We come to you this week with a topic that Erika thought of. That's brilliant, I think. And it's a feel-good topic, so...
Yeah, well, we, had a little inspiration this week because we volunteered last night. And I thought, while we were there, what, comfort food for the soul this is.
Mm-hmm. We both did.
Yeah, so I was like, well, that would be a really good topic to just talk about, things that we do and maybe others
soul things
might find useful to just feel kind of that, achy need I have. Like I said, when I say I'm hungry all the time, I mean, I'm hungry for not just life, but, hungry to fill that kind of hole, the God-shaped hole that we're always trying to fill with all the other stuff we try to fill it with,
She is. She's always, no matter how busy this girl is, and she's the busiest girl, she's still always like, what more can I be doing? What more can I be doing?
I don't feel like
I just don't feel like it's enough. It's just all about her purpose. She's just always been obsessed with her
trying
purpose,
to find out my purpose,
and wanting to fulfill her purpose, and all the time. And
because I don't feel I do feel like I have a hole. I mean, it's hard to describe because it's not a depressed hole. There's something missing, and I'm always hungry. I want to fill that void, and
that only God can fill.
Yes, and so when we did that last night, I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm always...
She was like, my soul, comfort for the soul. And I was like, that's a brilliant...
Yeah, that's the only time that I feel like
good.
I feel good all the time, but that's the only time I feel... Fulfilled, and
I'm... purpose.
Yes, complete. And so that's why I was like, ooh, that's a good thing to share, because I feel like I am always hungry and have been just filling it with the wrong things.
Which isn't true, by the way. I'm just saying. Yes, that's true, too.
Either way, but I do fill it because I get bored, and I'm antsy, and I'm hungry, and I'm eager, and then I get bored, and I go out, and I do things.
We can't constantly be doing, huge things like that. We can.
Mother Teresa did.
Consistently. Oh, yeah, Mother Teresa did. But she didn't have kids
and
idol.
Jobs.
Yeah, but she had a different type of lifestyle.
I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm just saying for me, that's what I inspire. I aspire to be inspiring every day. Whether it doesn't have to be huge like that, but I want to do something good, inspire some sort of good, sprinkle, spread the light, the ripple effect with the light on a regular basis. That's what makes me feel good. It makes me not get fickle and flighty and do stuff out of boredom that then I'm like, that wasn't good for my soul. It's a short term, temporary fix.
Right.
That was fun for the minute, but now I just feel worse because I could have chosen better ways to spend my time. And so... that being said, we volunteered last night, and it was an incredible experience. We volunteered for Compassion, which I highly recommend. I could be a spokesperson for them. But we did. We went to Winter Jam, Christian Musical Festival, or concert. And we manned the Compassion table where we helped people sign up to sponsor needy children. And we both said last night, our cup was just so overflowing. There's just so much good energy. I felt so good about it. I even told Mom today I kind of had you have the post-vacation blues. I had the post-cup overflowing blues. I was like, what am I going to do with my life today that's even going to compare to that? We helped 8 babies find sponsor homes. And even we were saying last night, and the lady that signed us in, said one's a win. So we were stoked that, we were able to help 8 people find
for sure.
Sponsor babies.
That was so exciting.
And I highly recommend to anybody that's watching this, if you, need to fill a void, it's super fun.
It's a way to comfort your soul, food for the soul, because you do feel joy. And that's why I was explaining to her, when there's when you go to a Christian concert or something, which we always go to Winter Jam every year, but this is the first time I volunteered. She volunteers for other things as well. And has done things like that before. But I'm not as near as outgoing as her. And it's not even something I wanted to do. She pretty much just kind of signed me up for it to go with her. and was just along for the ride. But it really was. It was so. It was like that. Instead of, even when we have just gone for the concert though and enjoyed just the music, it's the same feeling. But when you just have that many people in one space, usually
that much positive energy.
Another time we talked about, the Walmart energy and how it's so crazy. Sometimes we both felt like, ooh, too much anxiety. I gotta get out of here. It's the same type of thing, except it's overflowing more like love. You just feel a lot of love because everybody's kind of there for the same reason. They're there to worship God.
Yeah, like she was saying that she didn't want to do it at first, like, because she's like, hey, it's cool,
I
I
don't
want to get out.
Usually.
Yeah, like, we're gonna go spend all night, and it's a Thursday, and so, like, I even felt that way when I first got the email about volunteering. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go this year to Winter Jam. And then they emailed me again, and I was like, well, they seem to be in need, so I should. But, so I get it. Like, I have the same way where, like, sometimes it's just hard to drag yourself out. But, like, she was saying a second ago, she's like, I didn't really want to go because I just didn't want to drag myself out. It wasn't that I didn't want to help the needy children. I just didn't want to go out. But she was saying today, like, how next time that opportunity arises, she's going to remember the feeling she had when she did that, when she took that opportunity. Because that feeling is so much better than the feeling of not doing it, that, like, you're better off for doing it.
That feeling will inspire you to do it. And so, if you're like me, if you're not like Erika, and because she's a go-getter and she'll sign up for stuff, she'll look for stuff to sign up for. I'm definitely the opposite, and I'm not really a people person as much as I love people. Most people.
All of our particles.
Yes. Where was I? I'm sure everyone out there of a certain age understands that feeling, has had that feeling, where you just, when you help someone and you really feel like you've done something really good, there is no really better feeling I've ever had.
And when you said that, it reminded me of something that we have said to each other so many times. Actually, I got it from you. Like, people may not always remember what you say to them, but they'll remember how you make them feel. And that's how, like, I kind of put that spin on this experience. Like, you may not remember, like you said, every artist that was there and every person you met, every story you heard, because we heard lots of stories. It was so beautiful to see.
You always remember that experience, how it made you feel.
But you do remember how it made you feel. And then, like you said, that's kind of why I had, like, the post, cup overrun it blues today, because I was like, well, dang. Yeah. Like, I felt so full last night. And, like, I was just really doing God's work.
And then we get home late. She has to get up super early and work all day.
And it's just back to the grind.
Yeah, and normal. She literally was like, so you're tired, too. You're half hungover, basically, from having, such a fun night and an exciting night. And then...
But then I just remembered, like, something else we talked about that was comfort food for the soul. I was like, oh, well, if I'm not going to do anything huge today, then I'm just going to spend some time with God. And then I just felt so much better. Like, I meditated and prayed. And that also is comfort food for my soul.
That's comfort.
Like, just talking
straight up
to God and being like, I'm feeling a little bummy now because of whatever, or just whenever. Sometimes, we have no reason. Sometimes I just wake up feeling bummy and I just feel, like I said, empty or void, or like I'm very blessed. I have a great life. I have, everything I need plus some. I have happy, healthy kids. But sometimes even I have no reason, and I'll just be like, ugh. But I've noticed it's a lot of times because I'm hungry. I have that, like, hole. So then I was like, well, I don't have to do anything crazy today. I mean, it's not like I didn't just do that yesterday. If I could, I would. But I can still spend some time with God, and He will pick me up. And He did. Like, I felt so much better after that. I was like, oh, okay, we're good. Everything's the way it's supposed to be. And then also I jumped on a ton of opportunities that came in my email today, too. That was like, oh, do you want to sign up for this? And I was like, sure do.
That feeling again.
I'm addicted to this feeling. It's a good feeling.
So if you're like me and you kind of are naturally resistant to signing up for anything or doing anything or whatever,
get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of that comfort zone, and maybe, like, it's a lot easier when you're with someone. Don't do it alone. I mean, you can do it alone. It'd be wonderful.
I didn't even want to do it alone.
We saw a lot of people there that were by themselves volunteering. But I'm definitely a person that needs, I'm so codependent. It's sad. But anyways, another thing is just that I do is just like self-care. Some of us, which is wonderful, perform self-care on themselves all the time. That sounded really bad. I'm done. Anyway.
I'm blushing for you.
Like, for me, if I just, I'm so done. If I decide to shave my legs, clip my toenails, clip my fingernails, and maybe paint my toenails, I really feel like I've done something for myself. So it does. It literally makes me feel better. Because I've taken care of myself a little bit, you know? It's like you would do for a friend. I always bring it back to that. But like if you had a good friend that was feeling the way you're feeling, you would say, yeah, take care of yourself, you know? Do something for yourself too, because don't forget, you know, we are supposed to love ourselves as well as our brother and sister and everyone. So, all particles.
Yeah,
you know
self-love.
what it is for you. Yeah, self-love.
Give yourself some love.
On a regular basis.
And yeah, that definitely helps fill a little bit of that hole. Because like you said, you are part of, like we believe we're all part of the divine. So that part has to be taken care of also. Another thing that I do, and I honestly, I haven't done this in a while, but I have good intentions. Like I said, I like to volunteer and donate, like things like that. But like I donate like blood. The blood drives are always looking for blood. Doesn't take long. You can go in and it just, you know, that might save a life. So like those are the big things. Like I'm always trying to do like big things. And like I just recently signed up on Be the Match. And that's where you can donate bone marrow for people who have life-threatening illnesses. There's like 70 different illnesses that your stem cells can help other people survive something life-threatening. So I just, like, things like that feed my soul. Like, make me feel like I have a purpose. Like, I'm not just living here for myself. Like, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And that makes me feel good. I like to do good. I like to put out good. I like to inspire others.
Really, really true. That when you do something to help someone else, it just does. It's always lifted me up more than anything I can even do for myself. Like even the self-love, which is, like I said, temporarily very comforting. And I think it is soothing for your soul. But compared to just helping someone else, the feeling you get is like I'm fulfilling a purpose. Even if it's not the purpose I thought or whatever. Even if it's not as huge as I thought or whatever.
It's the motives.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. To me, I always think like...
Let God use you and stop like expecting. You know what I mean? Just let him use you. Just take it easy. He will do it in your day-to-day life.
Well, and I always think like it doesn't matter. Like,
you don't even have to do anything special or, you know...
To me, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as I know that I did things with the right intentions, like, whatever happens to, like, whatever somebody does with that, like, whether it's monetarily, like, if I give $5 to somebody on the street, like, they could do whatever they want with it. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're afraid of what the other person will do with that money or that donation. Or, like I said, you don't want to donate blood because you don't know if somebody will actually get to use it and don't save their life. I always look at my motives, and I know that whatever I do, like I still get, no matter what they do with that, I still get like my reward, even if it's just I feel good about myself, or like if it be like a blessing times 7, you know, like God says, it's still like, again, I get my reward, like I feel good, and I leave the rest up to God. Like whatever they do with it, it's between them and their God. But I had like good intentions, like I was doing it for like what I believe my purpose from my God is. And so I don't really care what, like I said, like they do with my donation, whether it be my time, my money, like my blood, my bone marrow. And then sometimes, like, we are always talking about, like, faith it till you make it, fake it till you make it. Like, maybe you are super reserved, but the more you do it and the more blessings you see coming your way, even if that doesn't mean, like, you're getting, you know, monetarily, like, sometimes the blessing, the reward itself is just how you feel. And I feel like that is the most important thing, is like I've said before, being happy throughout life and feeling at peace and feeling fulfilled. That's way more important to me than really anything else, because who wants to live if you're going to be miserable? So I feel like even if you have those reservations, but you like keep doing it until, you know, you start seeing those rewards, and then your intentions change or you become more open about giving, then I still, like I said, I still think it's worth it. It's probably still helped somebody somewhere. So I would say, like, still.
That's facts.
Probably do too. Hashtag for facts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about that. And another thing, like, that kind of has to do with the giving thing, and I was actually inspired this week by a friend with this one, is random acts of kindness. And I was at work this week, and a good friend of mine popped in. I hadn't seen her in a while. Hey, you know who you are. Because I know she'll watch this. Literally gave me the coat off her back. And it's like, what, 20 degrees here? And literally, I told her I liked it. And she was like, you can have it. And I was like, there's no way I'm taking your coat. It's cold outside. She had a tank top on under it. And she was like, I was going to give it away anyway. And I said, well, then you can, and I'll even come get it, but wear it home. Like, I'll see you again. And she just would not take no for an answer. She made me try it on and then wouldn't put it back on and gave it to me. And I was like, I'm super grateful for that. But also I'm going to use that as inspiration because now I like to pay it forward. I love it when stuff like that happens because it reminds me, like I almost felt guilty about taking it because I was like, I should not. But then again, you know what? That's her good. Like her soul now gets to feel good for doing something kind for somebody else. And that's a huge reward. So I'm like, you know what? You have your reward and I'm going to pay it forward. And now, like I said, the next time I feel inclined to do so, some random act of kindness, like you never really know what it is. Sometimes it just hits me. I'll be like, oh, I should maybe get that person's groceries or maybe buy their coffee behind me or whatever. But I like doing that because, again, the ripple effect, I feel like even those small gestures inspire other people to do something then. Like, that's what it does for me. I'm like, oh, I'm now inspired to do something kind. And I want that to keep going. Like, I want that ripple effect to get bigger. I want the world to be full of more happy, kind people than negative, not kind people. Right. So I feel like that's another big, like, food for my soul is just, doing something random that's nice for somebody.
For sure.
Or just being nice to people in general. I mean, sometimes even just, like, I talked to another friend this week, we were talking, same thing you said, like, we're people persons, we're people, but sometimes, like, we don't like people.
Right.
It's weird. It's a fine line.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Like, I love all people innately, but also, you know, sometimes dealing with people is a whole nother...
If it weren't for people.
Tragedy. Life is easy, people make it hard type deal. But I was like, I was a little inspired by our talk, and because we had talked about how, like, it's hard sometimes, to just keep your composure with people. So, like, I tried to be extra nice at work this week. I didn't have to go out of my way really to do that. Like, I had to be at work anyway. It wasn't like a random, act of kindness. Right. It was just being more civil and more, like, spunky.
Just being aware of yourself, how you're sounding, and faking it till you make it. Seriously. Because...
And you never know what kind
when I worked with the public, I faked it daily.
Well, you never know what somebody else is going through.
You just don't. And that's the thing. You might feel like... and I know I mentioned this before, but you might feel like, everybody else is fine being here, but I'm the only one that just, I just don't want to be here around them. They're probably thinking the same thing about you. They're probably like, I don't want to be here, you know what I mean, either. You're like, you just don't know. I'm not saying probably, but you don't know what other people are thinking. You just don't know what they're going through. But it's food for the soul. When you're nice to people, because you feel better about yourself.
And then I feel like in the long run, like we say all the time also, you get what you put out. So not only do you feel better about yourself, but then later, like, you're just going to get that same kind of kindness and grace given back to you, which is going to help make another day when you need it, or maybe if you didn't need it, but, another moment in your life better and just more rewarding.
Yes. Please remember to pray. Just pray. As far as prayer goes, I always, have told my girls, the more constantly you pray, it says to pray incessantly in the Bible, and it is true. Like the more you pray, just usually the more peace you have. But the prayer can never be constant. Like, let's be real. We live in this world, in these bodies, and for a good reason. But there's no way that we can constantly and live our life. Like she was saying earlier, monks do. I think monks go like into the woods.
Well, I was like, if you're a monk,
meditate and pray.
Meditate
months and
24
years.
hours a day. Then maybe, but I think the point with that is we're like also like just don't want like people like we obviously don't
can't pray 24/7.
Don't set like we don't. We
and
say what we believe,
times that
but
I
also
go a long time, never, all day. But there's definitely times that I go hours and hours and hours. It's really, really easy to do when you get focused on something else. But it's also, once you're in the habit of it, even when you're focused on something else, it's going to pop in because you're just going to be like, oh, that's something to pray about. I'll tell you, when I start missing him, then I know that I've done screwed up.
A lot of times if I do pray, then it leads me down a path of what I could do that would fill my, like, it'll answer that question. It'll help fill that just with the prayer itself, but then it'll, like, I'll be directed or led, or an opportunity will come up that is obviously a gift for me to, you know, take an opportunity that will also, like, be more soul fulfilling. But yeah, I think the big thing with that is just, like, we preach all the time. We love to preach. But we're human.
But we don't always practice what we preach.
Well, yeah, we try. I mean, we believe
try.
what we say, but we also understand we're all human, and, like, you can't
be perfect.
Set bars, you know, so high that
you can't reach them.
Yeah, goals you can't reach. Comfort food really is just having a relationship with my God, and, like, knowing that He's in control and that everything is exactly as it should be. Like I've said before, the universe and everything in it is working for me. And that just brings me a lot of comfort, knowing that, like, okay, like, yeah, it's out of my control, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. He's got a plan. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even if it's not, you know, saving the world. Like, I'm still an important particle. I'm still an integral piece of this puzzle of life, and I'm important. And having a relationship with God, just like I've said before, it just brings me hope and peace. So I'd rather have that, again, fill that God-shaped hole with that than not have it.
Amen to that.
And then another thing that we do, and we've discussed this, like, probably on every podcast we've done, is we read. And it's not just, like, I read for fun also. Well, I mean, it's always for fun. But I read stuff just for entertainment also, just to give, like, my mind a break. But we read a lot of self-help books. And whether they be, like, well, spiritual. I think most of them are spiritual because that's what we're into. But any kind of, you know, thing that opens up your mind to help you just feel better about yourself and be more self-aware, and find what does make you happy and what does fill that void for you is going to be good. We, of course, you know, pick spiritual stuff that helps us work on our spirit and doing more, like, things that are good for our souls. And we've already discussed this. Like, we're still reading the 3 we were reading because we bounce back and forth between them, so we haven't finished one yet. But we take different stuff from each one of those, like, when we need it. And then they just, you know, creep up in, like, little reminders of, you know, again, whether it be a word of peace and saying, like, hey, everything's the way it should be, or whether it's, like, a word of, we should be helping the least of these. And then we go out and do that because we know that we've been given that advice, that that's what's going to help fuel our soul. And I just love that because it really is food for the soul. So, like, I get that way where my soul is literally hungry. That's what started this whole topic. Like, and so it is, like, food for my soul. And, like, food for your, like, mind is just like food for your body. If you put in junk, it's gonna be junky. It's not gonna feel great. So if you pick good things to put into your mind and your spirit, then you're going to feel better. It's going to be more healthy for you. It's just, I mean, that's just common sense. I feel like
thoughts.
Yeah, I think good stuff. Like, I mean, I can watch, I mean, not that I don't ever watch some mindless TV or play a game, but
same.
I am very selective, though, about what I do put into my mind, because once it's in your psyche, you can't get it out. So I am pretty selective about certain things. But I feel like, yeah, sometimes my literal soul is hungry and it needs food for the soul. So I try to pick things, like I said, that are good and not, I mean, not just the, you know, like, just getting sucked into something and killing hours. Like, I feel so unproductive and neglectful to myself when I do that, when I get sucked into something that's not really purposeful. Like I said, reading for entertainment, I do that, and I don't think that's that bad. But, like, I can get on Facebook and scroll through it for hours and then feel like crap, because I could have spent that, like, again, praying, meditating, or, like, just reading something that would have fueled me, like I said, instead of putting the junk in and then feeling kind of junky about it. I could have put something good in and then been more uplifted and more positive or more at peace, or, you know, something like that.
Right.
So, and I've been trying to do so.
But, I mean, it could be
different. That's the journey we're on.
For sure. And it could be different for you. It could be different for everyone. Like, for some people, you know, some people, they have a purpose for being on Facebook, and maybe they're helping people, and maybe they're reaching out to their family from another state. That's different. Like, we care about Facebook. Her point is just, if you're sitting there just scrolling, you know what I mean, and just, you know,
well, watching the mindless videos,
the mindless things that really are what do they offer you, like, in
like
the
the
end,
drama, or, you know, getting into that kind of stuff.
And I still do, like, I can't resist certain people I follow. I have to watch certain
TikTok for hours. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but But you always come back.
But I have been trying to
you always come back to your home base of, okay, now I need something to sustain me. Some real soul food, you know, to watch or listen to or read.
Well, and that's what I've been trying to do, and I could be better at it. But like I have been like on my Facebook, like downloading, or going like getting groups that were more, you know, work like self-help friendly. I don't know how to
yeah.
Like got into some yoga groups, got into some meditation groups, got into some
just
positive groups. Yeah. Like or on TikTok, like I get into the positive ones because it can just be like such a
it's how you feel. Remember how your experience.
So like at least then I can, if I'm gonna get lost in it, like I can I get inspired or uplifted by it versus like I said, just feeling kind of hard on myself because I got sucked into some kind of drama or some kind of like I said mindlessness or something.
It's easy to let your feelings control your mood, and you don't have to, but it's hard. But if you're in a bad mood, it's a good idea to fake it. Like she said, that's a great idea. Or, you know, sometimes you do need some time off. We all need our me time, let's be real. But we also all need our together time, because if you don't have some of that, like for me, like that's also soul food. Because people that love you, if they are around you, you're getting some soul food. You're getting some feel good, you know.
I agree, yeah. Surround yourself with people that do love you. And I'm a huge advocate. Like, even I've always thought this, and like I said, it may be different for people. This is just what works for me. But I'm a huge advocate. And when you feel like crap and you don't want to get out of bed, and like I've been there, and I mean, I know people that have been there also. And I'm like, my number one advice is get up, make yourself get up, and go do something for somebody else. Like, that is just what I think. I'm like, it makes you feel like better.
A person. You're gonna come home a totally different.
Glad you did so.
Countenance, you know, on your face.
You're gonna be glad you did so. Like, because we all get there, and the less you do, the less you want to do, and the more into the hole you fall. But if you actually make yourself get up and go do something, like I said, for somebody else, even if it's not for you, that has never failed me or anybody that I know. I'm like, it makes you feel good if you're a good human.
It's so important, like I said, that you have good intentions. Make sure that if you want to feel good and if you want soul food, like this subject is, then you are a person that is seeking something. So make sure that you continue to seek it, because you will find it. And keep reading, honey. Keep listening to us. We'll keep you going. Take one step.
Yeah, we wouldn't be food for the soul. Yeah, listen to a positive podcast. Why didn't we put that on our list of things of food for the soul?
It doesn't even have to be us, but it'd be great if it is.
Yeah, that's it for my list today. I've got lots of other things, of course.
Mm-hmm. Ask us any questions too, and we'll answer them.
Oh, for sure. Or give us.
This is just a short list. We don't want to go on for hours, but yeah.
Well, I've got a whole list I'm preparing already for how I'm combating the winter blues. But I feel like comfort food for the soul was like one subcategory, or like it was a category that a lot of subcategories fell into. So it's like, well, that can be a whole thing. So other than that, though, yeah, happy Saturday, and
have a happy week. Yeah. Every day, spend 5 minutes on yourself, even if it's just in prayer. Give yourself 5 minutes to meditate, or give yourself 5 minutes to, you know, soak in the tub, but every single day, if you're in a, funk, or if you're feeling like you need some soul food, do something. Any of these things that we mentioned, even for 5 minutes a day.
Start doing it. It'll be a lot easier, because sometimes you have to pick yourself up out of that hole. I'm trying to prevent myself from getting in the hole, because I get the winter blues so bad. So like, I've got to jump start on it. But if you already are, sometimes it's hard to get out of there. But if you take baby steps, like I don't say like give yourself I say give yourself a maximum. That's my advice. Like,
oh yeah, that's good advice.
I'm gonna maximum 5 minutes.
I do love
do
that
this
advice, yeah.
Because then if you don't reach it, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. And if you do exceed it, it's a good thing that you went above and beyond. So it's a win-win. And so I maximum time am gonna like.
I forgot about it. That's excellent advice.
Spend
I like that better, actually.
Yeah. So like, I would just give yourself
that other stuff out.
a little bit of anything, and then it will be easier because it'll make you feel good, and then you'll be like, oh, you know what, I actually really look, even though I hated to drag myself up or hated to drag myself out or whatever, you'll be like, again, back with the feeling, you'll be like, but it made me feel so good that the second time it's gonna be easy. I swear 98% of any battle is showing up, like making up your mind that you're gonna do it. Like there are days I don't want to do my yoga, and then I get on the mat and I'm like, I'm just doing a maximum of 5 minutes, and then half an hour later I'm like, that felt great, so glad I did it. And it's like that with pretty much anything. Or like, I'm gonna maximum 30 seconds read this book, like just so I can say I did it, otherwise I'm gonna beat myself up, and then you know, before I know it, I'm sucked in it, and the next day I want to do it again because it made me feel better. And I know it's going to. It's just sometimes the battle is getting out of your head and making yourself do it. And then so just like I said, set a maximum. And that means you can do it for 10 seconds. And if you don't want to do anymore, you did something. And then, but I feel like that tends to usually pull you out of, you know, whatever funk you're in, or help, you know, and get you on a
I'm going to start doing that, man. I just like that. I'm going to do such and such for a maximum of, you know, 5 minutes. Like I'm going to make myself practice the ukulele for a maximum of whatever. That's kind of brilliant.
Sure, I learned that.
Because then you know you can just do it for 30 seconds, but you're not going to. Once you start doing something, because like she said, that's 80% of the battle. Then you're like, once you're there, you're like, oh, I'm going to do more than 30 seconds now. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I stamped that.
For facts.
The matriarch. I'll stamp it.
Perfect. Aside from that, blessings.
Blessings to all of you. Love to you. Thanks to you for spending your time with us again this week.
Yes, thank you.
If we start getting more views, if we start getting more views, I might throw in like an extra one occasionally, but we'll see how it goes.
We have a struggle getting this one out.
Yeah, but I mean, even by myself, like I could just do one by myself in my room.
That's true.
And, you know, throw an extra one out. So we'll see.
But yeah, blessings and again, and gratitude. Thank you guys. And I hope that everybody, I hope somebody takes something good that they can use from this and feels inspired and maybe can go pay it forward to somebody else.
Amen. Love you guys.
Love you.